Hello there, friends. Today we are going to discuss the 2023 Panini Prizm draft picks, Victor Wembanyama, card number 2, and we're going to discuss these in an ungraded valuation. We're going to ask ourselves, what are they worth, and what are our entrance and exit points? As you can see within this set, there are quite a few parallels, most certainly, and all are in high demand right now for good reasons, right? But right now, it's important to understand which ones are a good value and which ones you can get your hands on at an affordable price that is not at the peak of the market, but offers some opportunity for you to maybe make a profit. We'll discuss those numbers here right now. So first things first, let's take a look at the base card Victor Wembanyama. Again, this is card number 2 in the 2023 Panini Prizm draft picks set. Rookie card certainly is a card that people are getting graded left and right, trying to get their hands on it. It's not carrying a premium in a PSA 10. Well, I mean, it is carrying a premium, but it's not, for me, it's not worth it. I'm just going to say that. I would rather get one of the parallels graded personally and graded high, or get my hands on a parallel that has already been graded. That's just my saying. But it's cool to have raw. I think it's a great card to have raw within your collection, just in case he really does blow up. Well, I mean, he's doing great now, but in case things get even crazier with him, then you'll have it in your back pocket as an opportunity. Anyways, let's discuss a few things first. Before we get into the numbers, let's take a look at the graph that we see here. These are 15 data set points that were taken off of eBay. These are the most recent sales that I could uncover. I'm sure there are more here and there that I missed, but on average, these are the 16 or 15 most recent sales. As you can see, we go anywhere from $5.50, which happened twice, interestingly enough, all the way up to $18. This $18 I'm going to call an outlier, which again points out an opportunity for me to point something out. When you're in a card show, they're going to pull up recent comps. It's just what they do, especially when you're trying to haggle. And you might even be pulling those up. Now, this is why I like to go back 15 data points at least, right? Because the most recent sale, the highest sale, in fact, was at $18. Now, I'm personally not going to let that $18 impact my negotiations. It's not going to happen. So that's why I don't really like doing the three most recent comps, and it's important to see the bigger picture. Deal? Got it? Good. Anyways, up to the data points. Again, 15 data points. All of these sales happened on the 16th of January, which means this card is highly, highly liquid, which is also why I'm not all that interested personally in getting this card graded. I think there's a lot of them out there. Let's just face it. There's a lot of them out there, and a lot of people are going to get them graded just because they want to say they've got that PSA 10 and they think that there's going to be a huge value market, but it could also plummet entirely. And that's why the sheer amount of supply, again, there's high demand, but the supply for me is a bit overwhelming at this point. So as far as these colors are concerned, these are going to apply to all of the data set points and all of the different cards that we will be seeing down below. So I'm going to take a quick moment to explain what they mean. Blue, right here, is the average price paid by the winner of an auction. So this is the average price it took to win this Victor Wembanyama card. Simple, right? So $11.20. If you go higher than this, you're in the top 50%. If you go lower, you're in the bottom 50%. As straightforward as it gets. Now, is that the value of this card? I personally say no. No, no, no. And if a dealer wants to tell you that it is, I would certainly point out the fact that these sellers are paying fees. So they're not getting this $11.20. That's not what's happening. They're getting closer to $9.41. So that's what the orange is. It's exclusive of those fees that the sellers must pay in order to list their card. So $9.50 is what I personally think this card is worth right now on the market. Is that what I want to buy it for? Again, no. I like to get into the bottom third, and I also like to have 70, 75, and 80% price points in place so that I know where I need to go and stop at. $7.84 would be your 70%, $8.40 is your 75, and $8.96 is your 80%. Now, green, yellow, red, yes, a stoplight. That's where my go is on 784. I'm thinking maybe on 840, and I'm definitely not hitting $8.96 on average. Now, that could, of course, change depending upon recent demand, but again, there's so much liquidity in this card that I'm not getting anywhere near that. So I like to make sure, though, in the end, that I'm in the bottom third of sales price. So we're going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I can get in at $8.33 or lower, that puts me in the bottom third. And that's where I like to be when I buy a card. So $8.33, right there close to that yellow. That is my hard stop. So this card on eBay, valued at $11.20. In real life, valued at about $9.50. And to me, it's valued at $8.33. If I can get my hands on it at that price point, then I would be looking to sell in the top third as far as price points are concerned. So if we go up from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're seeing a $12 price point. Exclude those fees, and you're getting $10.11, which on this card would net me about $1.70 in profit. So those are my entrance points and my exit points and what I think this card is worth. Am I interested in this card? Yeah, it's a low enough price point in general to be interesting. It's a good enough player in general to be interesting. And if the wheels fall off this bus, I'm not out a lot of money. That's an interesting point to make. Now, next card I want to take a peek at would be the Silver Prizm. And let me just say this. I love this card. I love the Silver Prizms from Panini. I think it's essentially their best looking card of all the parallels. I don't know, something about it, something about the hollow, something about the shimmer, and the fact that it's a bit of a lighter border on it because of the silver really makes this card pop. So, personal preference, that's definitely a point in the positive. Now, let's go ahead and sort these ascending, make sure that we've got that in place. We do. All right, quick graph peek. Now, we saw that somebody got a steal of a deal, $35.24. And the way that I explain that is that there are certain people out there who, yes, they just get their hands on a box, right? And they open a few packs and they find a great card, and they're not usually the most savvy of sellers. They throw it up on eBay and they don't pay attention to the titles that they're using, the keywords that they're using. And so there's a problem with people who want to buy your card actually finding your card on eBay. So I'm going to account that $35.24 to that. I did look at the listing and it looked relatively clean. It wasn't the best centering or anything like that, but it wasn't horrible. And so it was just the title was so bad that it clearly didn't get very many impressions. Problem there. All right. Anyways, everything else relatively stable in that mid $60 range. A few outliers up above. I believe those might have been buy it now, so those typically are. That's $117.50. Somebody did a nice job of taking home some cash on that one. But you're seeing relative stability, and also you're seeing a nice little growth pattern, starting off low and moving on high. So that's interesting as well. Again, we've got we've got green, yellow, and red. My entrance points, $49.99. $50 is my opening offer. And let's see where the bottom third lines up at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $53.40. So that is right smack dab, right at that yellow. I'd be in right around $54 as what I would say is personally fair value for my valuations. $62 is the market price. eBay price sitting at about $71.42. Nice, right? What can you sell this card at the bottom third? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are seeing an $80 price point on this card to sell on eBay. So as long as you're above that, you're probably going to be making at least about $15 if you get in on the yellow. Simple? Cool. Anyways, next up here, the Green Prizm. I have this card personally. I actually pulled it from a pack, believe it or not. So I'll admit, it's a cool card. But if not Silver Prizm cool, not by any stretch of the imagination for me. I mean, the green's cool, but $59.21 average sale price are on eBay. $51 is what the sellers are taking home. And a top third, you're going to see it. Let's see if it falls within the yellow again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $43.08. So just slightly before that $44.40 yellow caution note there. So I sort this again and look at the graph. You got nice stability on this one, right? You're not getting too high, you're not getting too low. Even those peaks are actually attainable as far as buy it nows are concerned. So I would personally say that yes, I would say that yellow is definitely fair. $44.40 is fair. I'm getting in at 43. My least favorite card, the Purple Wave. I hate this card. Hate it. I feel like I'm playing some really horribly done old school video game when I look at this card. And I don't know. Purple is such a bright color and can be so vibrant. And I don't like the way the Purple Wave is. I just don't. I think it mutes that color. I don't think it's catchy to the eye. I think it's distracting. So not my favorite. I will say that. Anyways, on to it. $76.10 is the average bid price winner. $65.72 is the market value for the sellers. And $57.07 is going to be your yellow. Bottom third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $73.90. Wow, man, oh man. So it looks like that 46 and that 53 really brought down the price point quite a bit on this card. Wait, it helps if I do the right side. Oops. Tell me to do this right, everybody. All right, so minus fees. Let's go down minus fees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $60.42. Much better. So it actually aligns with over the yellow, which tells me that demand for this is probably a bit stronger than the comps would indicate. I'm still at 57 as far as where I'm stopping because I don't like this card, and I personally would be looking to turn and burn it. So the most cash I can pull out of the deal, the better. Looks like you can easily sell this card for right around that $85 price point or above and pull out basically $73.44 in sales. So about between $15 and $20 profit if you can get in on that yellow price point. Once again, let's take a look at the demand here. Really should look at the demand. So this is what is interesting about this card, is the steady rise it is undergoing. Apparently plenty of people out there really appreciate this card a lot more than I do, to say the least. So you're probably going to be able to easily get this card as far as when you sell it into that top third right now. Because as you can see, the most recent comps, the most recent 7, have all trended upwards and are raising that base price point on this card. This one certainly looks like it's acting a little bit better with a bit more potential than the green was, and pretty consistent with silver as well. The red cracked ice, probably my second favorite behind this silver. You're seeing $70.22, so we're kind of right around that Purple Wave style card as well, right? Let me take a peek. Yeah, right around there. We're looking at $60.62 is the seller's valuation on that. Don't go any higher than that at a card show. And yellow sitting at $52.67. Let's sort ascending here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $59.56 is your bottom third tap out. And that one's interesting because look at that. It is above the red. So I wonder what this graph's going to look at. I would bet that it's probably trended pretty stable. It has indeed a few lower ends. So this is the most stable graph we've seen. You're looking at probably about a 60% swing from that low to high. So it's, yeah, I mean, tough to say that that's not a nice looking graph and not a nice looking card. If I can get my hands on this card in that $55 range, I'd be willing to get closer to that red personally. So valuation eBay, $70.22. Seller, $60.62. My value, $55. And if I'm getting my exit point figured out, we're going to be getting out right around, looks like the $74.99 and above. But look at that jump, $10 jump right there. So you could probably sell out at about $80 and making between $64.75 and $73.44. Be easily pulling out about $15 in profit. No problemo on this beautiful card. I'm telling you, this card is beautiful. I love it. Last but not least, this choice blue, yellow, green card. This is going to be our most interesting graph of the day because you're going to see it's trending quite a bit lower now. Average price point to win this card, $210.27. As you can see, these dates happen over about a month and a half, so obviously not nearly as liquid as other options are concerned. So you might be seeing some price jumping. Also, with the scarcity comes potential opportunities for the future as far as making some money off of it. But again, this one falls into a purple wave kind of spectrum for me. It's not a beautiful card, and I don't care what you say. People need a beautiful card. It could be a super short print. It doesn't matter to me. If the card doesn't look sweet, I don't think people are going to be going after it. And it's that wave pattern again, kind of that you saw with that purple, it just distracts from the movement in the card, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. Anyways, green 147, yellow 157, red 168. Bottom third is going to be in 154. Now, this is significantly lower than even the yellow, which is going to tell you something. We are trending lower on this card most certainly, and so I am not going to be pushing anywhere beyond this yellow, not even close. And if people in the card shows want to say, hey, it's a great card, some people have been selling it for about $265, $290. No. Things are trending low, and if it's below that yellow, I get concerned about where this card's future is headed, at least in the short term. Long term, because of the short print on it, you might get some more value out of it, but right now, this card has me scared. And as you can see through this graph, certainly trending in the downward direction. Even though it's short print, this one is not nearly as beautiful as that silver prism graph or that red prism graph, I should say, not graphed. And so this one has me scared. Is it going to continue to trend lower? I don't know, but right now, this one's a bit of kryptonite for me. I could see people losing quite a bit of money on this card, especially if we see a down sophomore year out of Victor, which is my biggest concern. Can he keep up his efforts and sort of take over the league? There is a lot of gambling, I would say, on this card, and this is a perfect example of that. So which card am I getting my hands on? I am looking at silver. I am looking at red. I'm keeping an eye on them because first, they look great. Their graphs look great, and there's plenty of opportunity if you get your hands on a nice version of these cards to get them graded out in that 10 range and really make some money. So that's the Victor Wembanyama. We got 6 rookie cards. We just got all of the valuations under control on all of them. Let me know what you think about this data set and whether or not any of these cards are your favorite. So take care, friends.